Good afternoon, everyone. It's Louise here from Eleanor Grace. Would you believe it? I just go to record this video and the heavens absolutely open. We haven't had any rain like this for months, literally. We've had little or no rain. So I apologise if you can hear the rain in the background. I'm going to carry on nonetheless, and I hope the picture's not too dark. I've tried to brighten it up with my lights for you. So I just wanted to talk about a stitch and our theme for this month in the group. And this also encompasses the first workshop that we're going to have as part of the new memberships that I've got on my group, so on my YouTube channel. So this is all to do with colour. So we're going to have a little introduction to colour in the next week or so, and then after that we are going to do a workshop on these. So we're going to do a workshop on using colour in fishbone stitch and doing colour with woven wheels and different ways of using it, and also bullion roses. So I'm going to show you all of these in a little workshop, and this is only obviously going to be available for those of you who have joined up to my membership. So if you want to join, we're going to have, I'm going to try and do at least one workshop a month, but lots of other bits and bobs as well, and lots of other little training pieces. And most likely I will be doing more than that. So I'm just trying to sort of manage how long it takes me to do everything. So this is going to be our first sort of project workshop. So we're going to make some beautiful woven and bullion roses, but using colour in different ways. So here's my little colour wheel, just to give you an idea of what we will start with on the first little session that we do. If you want to sign up, it is just the silk membership level that will get these workshops. So these are going to be in for those of you who've kindly signed up, and thank you all. I'm really thrilled with you all having signed up for my my workshop. So I look forward to getting these out to you in the next couple of weeks. But we will start off doing a sort of simple introduction to this. So on the group this month, if you're not already in it, please do join us on Facebook. Slow Stitching by Hand with Eleanor Grace, which is me, Louise, and just answer the questions briefly to get into the group, and so we know that you're not a bot. And then our theme for the month is also a competition this month, so it is something you need to create afresh, so not sort of something that you made in previous times, and it has to be obviously slow stitch related, so to do with embroidery. And our theme is leaves, so I thought this would be a good time to sort of introduce a cousin of the fishbone stitch, which I'm going to teach you in the workshop. I will recap on this stitch that we're going to learn today, which is very simple. It's called the leaf stitch, and you can use it in different ways, but I'm going to show you the way that I use this this particular stitch. So let me move this out of the way, get a piece. We'll turn that over and we'll get a piece here. So here's a little practice pad. So you'll have seen these before if you're a regular viewer. If you're not, then do look at my piece on how to make a practice pad, because these are really useful to be able to practice on, funnily enough. So the leaf stitch, if I have that sort of in the corner, you can see what I mean here. So this this stitch here, the fishbone stitch, is a little bit more complicated, and it will take a bit of time to explain, but a sort of cousin, I like to call it, of this is the leaf stitch, and it's a very simple decoration. I always think of this more a bit like a grass, actually. I always think of it almost as a grass stitch rather than leaf stitch, but it's a very simple no, you've got to think of the size of your piece and how big you want it to be. What you want to do is make the first vertical stitch about half the depth of the piece you want. So normally I would probably do this along the bottom of a piece if I was doing a piece of grass. I would have these sort of dotted along the bottom here, but just for the purposes of showing you. So I'm going to do a straight down vertical stitch, and that's going to be about half the depth of the total stitch I'm going to make, if that makes sense. Got this lovely cotton pearl 8 that I bought from a supplier. I think they do ship to the US and worldwide, but obviously at the moment US shipping is quite difficult. So that is your first stitch. So as I say, that's about half the depth that you're going to use. What you do then is come up one side of it and slightly on, or almost like a diagonal, so you're not coming up on the same level, you're just coming down a little bit. So then you take that underneath, or just sort of at the bottom of that stitch. Ideally you want to go down a tiny bit, and then you want to make a similar stitch the other side. Now this is really very easy, but it can be so effective, and you can extend these and sort of make them flower stalks. You know, you could extend it down here with a back stitch and make it a long stalk, and then put flowers at the top. It's a really good stitch. So as you see, every time I'm coming into the center, and this is the difference with fishbone stitch, which I will be teaching on the class. You're coming down in a straight line. So I know that's a very small one. I always end up making things very tiny. And then you just keep going down. And as I say, you go on a slight diagonal from the previous stitch. So you, not to be too fussy about it, but you come out a bit, and then just slightly underneath the bottom there, right in the center. And then you do the same on the other side. It's very easy, pretty little stitch. Now, if you were going to enter the competition this month, if you put one of these in one of your pieces, then I would count that as leaves. So this is the leaf stitch, very nice and simple, and I've done it on a very small scale. So let me do a big one now. I'll show you, and you can keep going on that, so you can make it out to be, you know, a really bulky shrub. It's a really versatile stitch, and I've seen it in many old, you know, pieces. So it's been one of those stitches that has, you know, that has lasted, that people still use. So here I'm going to purposely go out a bit more, and I'm going to leave a bit more space between the leaves. So you can see there, I've come out a little bit wider, but again I'm still going in underneath. It's just every stitch you just go down a tiny bit. Right, let's just do a couple more of those. This isn't much bigger. I was thinking I was making it much bigger, but those who've seen my work before will know I tend to work on quite a tiny scale, and I sometimes need to make myself go a bit bigger. So there, underneath, so you can see, and you can keep coming down. Now I'm going to go do that on this one, so I'm going to give a bit more space between the leaves. I think it's also called fir stitch, sort of an older name for it is fir stitch, and you can imagine that it looks a bit like a sort of conifer almost, so I can understand that. And if I keep going down, then you can make it down again. You could taper this in as you're going down, or you can keep going outwards like I have there. Just find the right spot there. And I think it's just a beautiful decorative stitch, really. It's one that I've come to quite late. I only started using it about a year ago, but I'm very you know, I'm very keen on it, and I will be putting it in more and more of my pieces. So there is. So it could be a tree, it could be a shrub. It, you know, you could do a simple one and make it like a bit of grass. I think it's just lovely. I thought that would be a nice little prompt to keep you going for now. I'll show you this piece again. So as you can see, initially the fishbone stitch looks quite similar, but there are differences, and I will be going through all of that, as well as looking at both making woven wheels and bullion roses, but also making them slightly different. As you can see from these, they're not all one colour, and the use of colour, you know, to give definition and to jazz things up a bit is something I'm really keen on. So I hope you you like the look of this. This is going to be, as I say, the first sort of workshop, but we will first of all have an introduction to colour, and it will be you know, just the sort of colour basics, which I think sometimes we, you know, we don't realise how much we actually know. But I thought we'll make some fun little projects, and this is going to be the first one. So I will see you again soon. And yeah, just as if you want to take part in this, do join up. There are 2 levels of membership. So the lower level, which is called linen, is just sort of has a few extras. You get a few little videos here and there, but it doesn't have the workshop. So if you want to take part in these workshops, then do join up on the silk level, and you can join and leave at any time, but the videos are there for you as long as you are a member. So you know, they are there if you miss the class, which will be coming up in a couple of weeks. So thank you very much for your time, and it looks like the big storm has rolled over for the moment, so I hope you've been able to see and hear me, and I will catch up with you again soon. Bye.